Class is in session this week. A green-backed heron teaches all the basics to its youngsters. A brown hyena has to learn to think off its feet. And a rhino mother dishes out some discipline. First on the roll call is this female green-backed heron, photographed by John Hartman, protectively guarding her 2 eggs. It's all very peaceful to begin with, but as soon as the eggs hatch, things tend to get rather busy, and lessons on being a heron begin. Only one chick seems to have survived, but she still has her wings full nonetheless. Lesson 1, eating fish. The comical-looking ball of feathers seems to master this class quite quickly, gulping down the regurgitated meal like a pro. Lesson 2, frogs. Slightly harder, and a second practical demonstration is required. The chick catches on eventually, swallowing the meal that seems too big for its beak. After all that concentrating, a quick game of peekaboo is called for. After all, we all know what happens in the case of all work and no play. Time for a change in mentors as the other parent arrives. This business of growing up is very labor-intensive. As the chick grows, it doesn't improve in the looks department, now resembling a squashed feather duster. And it takes great pleasure in taunting its parent and mentor. Very naughty. The next lesson on the agenda is balance, and the adult perches on the end of the branch, coaxing the uncoordinated chick to take a few steps towards the ledge. Perhaps that one still needs a bit of work. The final lesson, flying. By far the most fun, but with that stumpy little tail, perhaps it should stick to hopping for the moment. Homework will have to be set. Did you know green-backed herons are one of the very few birds to use tools while catching prey? They will drop insects or bits of feather into slow-moving water to lure fish to the movement. The bird then gobbles up the unsuspecting prey. Time for a quick recess, and this herd of African forest buffalo, photographed by Brent Leo Smith in Gabon, are having a day at the beach. In South Africa, this is an almost unheard of sighting, but in the forests of Lowango National Park, this is one of the peculiar occurrences that happens from time to time. What a fantastic sight, but perhaps something that would not be particularly well received on South Africa's packed beaches over the Christmas holidays. Did you know the African forest buffalo is the smallest subspecies of all the African buffalo? They are closely related to the Cape buffalo found in South Africa, but are almost half their weight. Back to the classroom with these photos also sent in by Brent Leo Smith of a lioness who is attempting to creep up on a newborn rhino calf. She launches herself at the tiny animal and almost manages to bring it to the ground in a cloud of dust. But she's certainly not the biggest kid on the playground, and Mom steps in very quickly to intervene. The lioness takes one look at her impressive size and decides to beat a hasty retreat. The little calf, now safe in the knowledge that Mom is apparently not to be messed with, does a little victory dance in the face of the retreating cat. We have time for one more set of photos before the bell, and this unfortunate brown hyena has stumbled upon a bully it should have avoided at all costs. Lions are well known for killing other predators, and this lioness seems no different. She grabs the smaller hyena by the neck, and it seems that its fate is sealed. According to Anya Trutta, who took these photos in Shamwari Game Reserve, the lioness sat by the motionless creature for about 15 minutes before getting up and wandering off. But wait, the hyena is not quite finished, and soon lifts its head, a picture of absolute dejection. The lioness notices the movement and returns for a second assault, determined this time to finish the job. But the hyena has learned its lesson and lies absolutely stock still. Bored of the game, the big cat finally leaves, and after a few minutes, the durable hyena gets up, dusts itself off, and makes an escape to lick its wounds in private, and perhaps think up some choice insults to be howled from a distance. Thanks again for joining us. The cutoff date has arrived, so if you didn't do your homework and send us your photos, you don't qualify for the grand prize. I'm afraid it's detention for all late work.